The one thing you're not gonna hear me say in this review is that this is a solid game. That's what everybody says nowadays, isn't it? But it's a solid game. But I have to say to you, this is a solid game. Well, I have to say to you, my friend, that word doesn't mean anything. This is a game called Cartographers, okay? And it falls into the category of roll and write games. Everybody loves a roll and write game these days because, it's kind of casual and it doesn't take long to play. And now that everyone has filled their shelves with so much cardboard and so much junk, everybody just wants some silly little games on paper to play to make them feel a little bit better about themselves. But look, there's still a lot of cardboard in here. There's some cards. Hey, there's no rolling. This roll and write game has no rolling. Is it a roll and write game? It can't be. There's no rolling. Let me tell you about it, though. Now, you see these cards? This is basically how the game is driven. These cards have different land types printed on them and different shapes, just like Tetris. It's just like the famous game Tetris you used to play on your Game Boy while your parents were arguing. And this paper here, this is where you draw your little Tetris shapes and where you build up your lands, just like a real map maker, like a real cartographer. These are the scoring cards, where you have to make certain patterns in certain ways, certain layouts to score points. That's how you play the game. These different objectives, you're trying to chase them down as the cards come out, make the shapes. This is what makes it interesting, though. This A, B, C, D. Just almost like the Jackson 5 song. Spring, summer, fall. Come on, hands, move. Winter. So, as you can see, the scoring cards come out in different orders as those seasons pass through. So, the scoring kind of shifts back and forth and the timing changes. It's interesting. Also, there's enemies. These come in nasty shapes that your opponents get to fill in for you. They take your sheet and they put the bad guys on your sheet and mess up all your plans. That's how the game works. So what do I think about Cartographers? Well, I have to tell you, I think this is a really fun game. And it's a kind of game you can play with people who don't ordinarily play board games. It's quite easy to explain. You will be quite surprised, however, when you sit down with, let's say, your mother-in-law or your stupid father, and you sit down and you try to explain the game, and you talk to them about the scoring, and you show them the scoring cards, and you understand those scoring cards perfectly, because you have been playing games for a long time, and your old dad, looking at that card, he just doesn't understand what you're asking him to do. So you have to explain the scoring, and sometimes it's just something simple like you have to surround this box with a certain type of land, and that scores you some points, and for some reason your old dad can't get it, and it takes a little bit of time. So remember, when I tell you that this game is quite simple, it doesn't mean it's actually simple. It just means it's simple within our little niche where we all know how to play all these games behind us. We're so lucky that we have all of that knowledge, aren't we? Is Cartographers a game for you? Well, I think it's very interesting. It's very interesting because you can play it solo too. It's a little puzzle. It's a charming little puzzle game. It's very good to see those cards come out and work out how to optimize the planning and the structure of your land. And it's also very pleasing to see the seasons change and the different scoring situations come up and see how well you've planned for those. And it's also very satisfying to see that lovely illustration of your map that you've completed at the end. So I heartily recommend Cartographers. I think it's great. It gets Lord Blankface's face of approval. This is me approving. This is me approving of you.